Welcome to Top Hill Recording Podcast, the podcast where we ask an artist, a band, a musician, a singer, a songwriter to come in, give us 4 original tunes. We sit, we talk about the tunes, we talk about where they've been, where they're going, all those good things. And tonight, not only is it a guest night for our guest, but special guest co-host, which we'll tie in later, like the perfect guest co-host tonight, Miss Kate Justice. How you doing, Kate Justice?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Super happy to have you tonight.
I'm happy to be here.
And the reason why this is an excellent night for you to be here, it was kind of a surprise up until the last second, because our friend tonight is a very good friend of yours, and these guys both play with you, along with you sang one of the tunes that they sang on this episode tonight. So, without further ado, we've got our good friend, Brady Evan.
You feel like you don't have a voice. You just need some time to catch your breath. Sometimes we all fall short of glory, but I know that you tried your best. The days just feel so long and empty. Maybe we all just need some rest. You try and close your eyes and forget it all. Bad thoughts just fill up your head. You know that I'm here if you need me, and know you'll always have a friend. I'll find a way to help if I don't know how. I just wanna fix what's hurting you now. I just wanna fix what's hurting you now. And through your smile I see the sadness. You don't have to be strong just for me. I'll take some weight off of your shoulders, pull back the blinds so you can't see. You know that I'm here if you need me, and know you'll always have a friend. I'll find a way to help if I don't know how. I just wanna fix what's hurting you now. I just wanna fix what's hurting you now. Say a prayer, and I'll walk a mile in your shoes. Don't ever think you'll have to face things alone. this promise I've made to you. You know that I'm here if you need me, and know you'll always have a friend. I'll find a way to help if I don't know how. I just wanna fix what's hurting you now. I just wanna fix what's hurting you now. I wish I can fix what's hurting you now.
Yeah, man.
Thank you very much. I tell my wife that I'm too chubby for girls to look at me. I tell them that I'm married with a kid at almost 3. Even though I play the guitar, yo-yo, and drive a Jeep, I tell my wife that I'm too chubby for girls to look at me. Me and my wife met when we were just 19. 10 years and 60 pounds ago, she's still in love with me. Well, I know she's not the jealous type, but sometimes I hear her say, what did that girl say to you when you came off of stage? I tell my wife that I'm too chubby for girls to look at me. I tell them that I'm married with a kid at almost 3. Even though I play the guitar, yo-yo, and drive a Jeep, I tell my wife that I'm too chubby for a girl to look at me. Some say I'm in shape, I'm shaped just like a pear. I can't even grow a good beard to be called a bear. Well, I know she's not the jealous type, but sometimes I've heard her say, what did them girls say to you when you came off the stage? I tell my wife that I'm too chubby for a girl to look at me. I tell them that I'm married with a kid at almost 3. Even though I play the guitar, yo-yo, and drive a Jeep, I tell my wife that I'm too chubby for a girl to look at me. Even though I play the accordion, yo-yo, and drive a Jeep, I tell my wife that I'm too chubby for a girl to look at me.
Yeah, man.
Thank you. Put fentanyl and cocaine, the fact that I know well, you get the wrong stuff from someone and you might end up in hell. We were doing lines, having a real good time, trying to make it feel alright, until the day it all came crashing down. Until the day it all came crashing down. they hear you pray. Maybe that's the way we all pay for our sins. When someone puts poison in the well again. By the country store in a beat-up truck with a wide open door. They'll say it was his own damn fault. Maybe it was, but I swear it's not. At the end of the day, he was still my friend. Maybe that's the way we all pay for our sins. When someone puts poison in the well. Please fall on deaf ears, even when I'm not alone. Well, maybe that's the way we all pay for our sins. Someone puts poison in the well again. Maybe that's the way we all pay for our sins. Someone puts poison in the well again.
Yeah.
Thank you all for that.
Excellent.
Thank you.
I was supposed to be asleep. I heard him screaming on the phone. Out there clothes out on the porch, that you're not welcome home. And the bathroom door had been locked most of the day. Or even crying on the floor trying to hide his tears from me. I hear the chains start to break, a sound that makes my heart ache. I hear them chains start to break. Well, I hear knocking on my window, it's keeping me awake. Well, I wipe my teardrops on the curtain, not knowing yet just what to say. Am I really supposed to take a side right now? Can I choose both and make this end somehow? I hear the chains start to break, a sound that makes my heart ache. I hear them chains start to break. keeping me awake.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
We
Brady
appreciate
and Peter, I don't know your last name, man.
It's Loneman.
All
Peter
right.
Loneman.
Loneman.
Loneman. All right.
Thank you.
We should actually do that. Brady Evan and Peter Loneman.
There we go.
So now when I do it in the podcast, that's what it's going to sound like. Fellas, excellent to have you all. Brady, again, man, killer tunes as always.
Appreciate
you
it.
write a hell of a country song.
We appreciate you having us, too.
Oh, bro.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Well, it's been a while, but anytime I can be around you, I get excited. I'm like, dude, Brady's a cool hang, a great people, good to be around. So I've been excited about this. Actually, you got to meet Frank, the neighbor.
Yeah.
He doesn't come over much, but I told him a long time ago, hey, you got to come over when my buddy Brady comes over. He's right in your wheelhouse, man. You're going to love what he does. And then when I called him earlier, he said, is this that guy you told me about? I said, this is the guy I told you about, buddy. So perfect stuff, man. What have you been up to, buddy?
Oh, nothing much. Hell, we're in the middle of trying to get through the rest of these cover shows for the rest of the year. And then next year, we're going to be mostly hitting up original gigs so we can really push our own music.
It's time, huh, to make the switch?
It is. It's taken us longer than I care to admit to get to make that switch. But Lord of mercy, you get so used to playing some of these bar crowds and the honky-tonks, and they just want you to be like a jukebox.
Oh, yeah.
Playing all them songs that they already know. But
Oh, yeah.
so yeah, we're trying to make that transition right now. So we're kind of working toward it.
I tell you what, though, doing that stuff and cutting your teeth with a band, you get real good when you play 4 hours, 3-hour nights, things like that, even cover tunes. You start to really get each other and learn the language and stuff. So there's a positive to that, too, regardless of how long it took.
Yeah.
You know, I would imagine putting originals together, if it's with the same people you've been kind of playing with throughout that time, get a little bit easier.
Yeah, I've had the same band now. Well, Peter joined us 3 years ago, but the rest of them been with me for about 7 years now. So, so we've been cutting, like you said, cutting our teeth out there in those cover gigs and bars, and we have a lot of fun. I mean,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like, I make it sound like it's a bad thing, but
No.
it's a lot of fun out there playing with those guys. Especially like Peter's been playing me so long now that no matter what I do on stage, if I'm going to do something different musically, he knows the cues as to what I'm going to do to fall right into whatever's coming next.
Yeah, dude, that's always gets real good when you don't have to say anything. You kind of look over and something in the nod or the look or the
You just
whatever.
know you're on the
Yeah.
same wavelength.
Yeah. So Kate, you've been kind of in the mix with these guys a little bit. What's it like being, kind of thrust in the middle of what they're doing? These guys have been playing 3 years together. Now they're kind of playing with you. They're playing stuff with you. You're singing, writing with Brady. What has that been? Has it been a good experience to get in the mix with a bunch of like seasoned vets?
I think it's been the best thing I've ever done, honestly, and I say that without exaggeration. Like I've been lucky enough that they let me tag along to some of the shows that they've been doing, and it is the most fun I've ever had, and it's the most I've ever learned doing music, just about like myself, about the music that I write, playing with people. Me and Brady, I know you said you kind of hadn't been co-writing before we wrote a couple songs together, and I really hadn't either. But one thing I do like about when we write music is I feel like we've kind of talked about this before. We kind of grew up the same, and we write about the same things. And I think that our songs come from the same place sometimes, and so it makes it really easy to just fall in line. I was a fan of your stuff. I mean, before I even really met you and got to know you. So we met a couple of months ago at the Monarch. We played a show together, and you were the first act on stage. And I just remember you were playing originals, and I was just blown away. And I was like, who the hell is this?
He can write a damn song.
He
He
can.
can write a song. You make me want to talk country. Sorry.
Say y'all are going to make me blush. Keep sweet talking me up.
Blowing smoke up your hind end, yeah. Yeah, it was both of you all actually playing, and I just remember being blown away. And I was like, I have to go talk to them. And you had to go to work or something like right after. And I'd like tracked you down in the kitchen. I was like shoving cheese in my mouth like I usually am. And I was like, hey man, that was awesome. And I went and like I listened to a bunch of your stuff. You got a lot of stuff out on Spotify. I I went through, what you had out, some of the videos you posted, and I was just a huge fan. I loved your songwriting. I loved your songs. Your voice is incredible. The songs that you write and the way that you play reminds me a lot of home.
That means a lot to me. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Well, Kate's actually the first person I've ever co-wrote with.
Yeah, it's not an easy thing to do, especially if you're used to writing by yourself and writing your own things. Letting somebody in that mix and trusting, speaking of trust, I mean, she didn't tell you she was going to be here tonight, but trusting them to sit in that pocket with you and figure some things out. It's a lot to give up. You're giving up a part of what you are writing and how you're doing it is tough. Definitely the first time, because I think it's not. I guess for some people it's natural. It becomes real natural if you do it, but there's something about breaking that barrier and writing with somebody.
I think it depends on the person. Some people it's kind of like a struggle, but I would say a lot of the songs you write, they're personal. And so like you said, it really is a hard thing to let somebody in.
Yeah.
To make, the things that you're creating, the art that you're making, you really have to have some kind of like connection with somebody in order to write a song together. You have to be able to reach the same destination. You may take different paths to get there, with your writing style and stuff like that. But, ultimately you're putting two minds together to make something. And so it's been awesome getting to, learn how to co-write with you and then getting to play with you, everything. It's been an honor, truly.
Likewise. I say it's been, especially like you said, it's kind of hard to let somebody get in there to co-write with you. But when I heard Kate's stuff the first time, so I didn't even get to watch her at the Monarch when we met because I had to leave to go to work.
I think last time you were at the podcast, you had to leave and go to work, right?
So, just working, man.
Hey, do me a favor, man. Pull that mic underneath you. I told you we want to see how pretty you are.
Oh, my gosh.
There you go. Now,
There we go.
She's beautiful.
Man, y'all going to keep sweet talking.
He was hiding.
I'm going to get a cavity from all this sweetness. But I was saying, the first time I heard Kate play, I never even got to watch her at the Monarch, so I had to wait for her to put something on Facebook for me to watch her play. And she put it on Facebook, and I was like, I need to find a way to write with her. Like I don't know how we're gonna make this connection, but I'm gonna try with that, especially trying not to sound creepy.
Yeah,
like just being a random guy, sending a message, hey, you want to co-write together? Luckily,
Peter was the one that actually ended up.
Yeah, I was the one that was creepy online.
It wasn't creepy. That was the only reason that I agreed to it, because I was like, how normal. This is great.
Yeah, man. I respect that perspective legit
absolutely.
Because, we had the Bourbon Britches in and we talked about it. We were really kind of talking about how different it is for female artists to be able to not feel like this is coming from, because so many times it comes from such a gross place.
Yeah.
Coming from other writers or maybe not necessarily artists, but more so, it can just come across. So to think about it in a way that's like, hey, I don't want to be a sleazy dude. I really just want to write with you. And the fact that, when you listened, you felt, the word home. That is such an important word because there's a comfort level in home, So when you hear a musician or an artist or somebody that gets to you like that gives you that level of comfort musically, I would imagine it maybe is a little bit easier for that connection to not feel, not ever be like that, but be more just like, we're going to write some killers, which you all have already started doing, which is awesome, Yeah.
The other thing is, like, whenever I heard Kate's video online, like, I talked to Brady, I was like, there's a lot of musicians that I really enjoy listening to and that I like and that I respect and I think that are amazing. But then there are musicians that you listen to and you're like, oh, I want to produce a style like this, or like, I want to like play like this, or I want to like, I want to create something like with this sort of genre and style and further that, like. So it's been fun to play with Kate and listen and hear her perspective on what type of genre she wants to like develop and what kind of sounds she wants to produce. So
And you fell right into it too. The first time we all played together, I mean, Brady, I went over to your house. Like I swear to God, I think I talked about this on when I was on here a couple months ago, I was like, I swear to God, I've been taught stranger danger. But you all, Brady was like, just come over to my house. We come over and, we rehearse and we jam and it's whatever. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And I showed up, and it was just like an instant, like, when you don't realize something's missing and then you find it for the first time. And it's just like you see things that you had never, thought you could see in your music. It was just awesome. I'm telling you, it's the best thing that's ever happened to me is you all asking me to play music with you. And I cannot overstate that. It has been an honor. I've learned so much from you all.
We appreciate that.
Likewise.
We love having you.
It almost feels like the circle that you Brady, maybe it might be kind of the circle you radiate. I'm wearing the fuzzy pig hat. We've talked about it a little bit here and there. And we've talked about the Fuzzy Pig Fest a ton the last year on this podcast, just because a lot of what you said, I was thinking about as you were saying it, because of the circle of musicians and the atmosphere there is just such a love fest for music and for people to be and do themselves musically, play what you want. There's so many people that are into all the styles, there's players that cross over, like Oliver, and just so many, I think about like Kendra, and there's so many different people that play on different projects, and I would imagine that's the circle that kind of you create. Man.
I say Fuzzy Pigs turned into such a beautiful thing from when me and Ryan started that festival. It's just like you said, it's a family. We all care about each other. We're in each other's corners. We're all supportive of each other, even when Fuzzy Pig's not going on.
Mm-hmm.
We're all going to each other's shows. I mean, I can't remember when the first year we did it, he might have had 6, 7 bands. I mean, it was the Bourbon Britches now, but there used to be Strings of Indian Creek. Well, at least the Ariana and Anna were in that band. And, they played the first year, and Colin and Kendra, and just seeing it develop into this. Because we had maybe, 50 people came out the first year. And last year, I believe we had over 5. It was between 500 and 600 people showed up.
Last year, you had parking problems.
We had a lot of parking problems.
You had parking problems.
We
That's
were
what
not
you
ready
had.
for that.
Because you're like, at some point you're gonna have to say, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna have to give discounts. Do you have to give discounts to cars that had a bunch of people? I thought you did.
Yeah, so if you carpool, you got a little bit off your ticket.
I'd be like, if you come solo, you're sending you away, man. We need parking spaces.
Yeah, so say if you're not driving something 4-wheel drive, you're in trouble.
I tell you what, man, it was excellent. But that was the thing that, home, the circle of people and the trust level and sitting around bonfires and doing those things and seeing bands in the front row for the next band, watching and supporting. It makes sense that what you say about it being so comfortable and warm and felt like you're missing something, making that connection. It seems real easy for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you've cultivated such a community, with Fuzzy Pig and with, the bands that you're in and the music that you do, whenever we do play shows and when I come out to your all shows, there's a lot of familiar faces out there, like people who are, it's just such a kind and loving and warm community that you've built around your music. And so I do want to ask you kind of, how did you get to that point? How, when you first started playing up until now, I mean, this beautiful thing that you have, how did that start? How did you, first get into music up until the point where you're at now with everything?
Well, when I started, I was a real quiet kid in school. I was very quiet. My teachers didn't even know that I talked until I got to high school. But hell, when I was 9, my granddad told me he'd give me 3 chords on the guitar. I don't know why I wanted to play. I mean, my granddad played the same stuff I do. He played bars. He did all the local gigs. So I just kind of really wanted to be like him. And he told me to show me 3 chords. Well, I learned those 3 chords, and he was kind of like, you're on your own for the rest. So I'm sitting there watching the country music channel or anything that had different music on it. I'd pause it and try to figure out those chord charts. And then my dad would go.
What did he teach? G, C, and D?
EA and B7 because he wanted me to learn how to play Folsom Prison Blues.
All right. Okay.
That's respectable.
That is
so-
respect.
So my dad would come home with these printouts for chords for me. My dad plays too, but he was working quite a bit, and I'd come home and I have some time to myself anyway. So he'd print the chords out for me, and I'd be able to go ahead and learn them. So no one in my family even knew that I was learning how to sing. They just knew that I was learning how to play the guitar. So the very first time that anyone even knew I sang was I invited them to a talent show we were having in high school. And mom was like, "What the hell are you going to do on that talent show?" I said, "I'm going to sing and play." She said, "Bullshit." I said, "I sure am." And I get up there and I played the song that started it all, Folsom Prison Blues, and I won the talent show.
Did you really?
Yes, but I mean,
I believe it.
I won it. My mom's like,
Congratulations.
"Thank you." My mom's like, "What the hell? Like you've been doing all this in your room?" And then we started playing like county fairs because my cousin was on the 4-H board, and so she would help us out. And we played. My other buddy ran the fire department, so we went and played some of their benefits for him. And then it was grinding. Just every little bar we could get into, every niche, playing for nothing on some of them just so I could get into places. And then,
how old are you at this point?
Well, I was 17 doing that. I was 15 when I started playing shows because talent show and then the rest of them. But 15. So I get to 17, 18 years old at this point, and we're playing county fairs. I'm lying about my age of playing some of the bars. We're playing in Madison, Palmyra, anywhere that would take us. And then
Madison, dude, that's a great music spot.
That's a great music spot. The what Madison's doing right now with the Madison music movement is phenomenal. Like they're really repping these places. It's a great time to play music in.
17 years as I started playing in bars at 17. I was same deal. I had a buddy of mine that was like 21, but it was not good. So we were in Lexington playing like Two Keys and A1A, like these big college bars. It was just me and him and getting ourselves, definitely getting in trouble and doing all that stuff. But the education you learn at a young age, I mean, you learn a lot of shit not to do and things like that too.
Yeah.
But you also learn how to have a good time. So at this point, are you playing, are you writing at all at 17, 18 years old?
Yeah, I was writing. I started writing the second I started learning how to play the guitar.
Really?
I wanted to do original stuff.
So were you doing any type of like poetry or writing anything before that?
Yeah, I was writing poetry before that. I used to love writing poetry when I was in elementary school, and they put me in the poetry club right after school to the point they wanted me in it bad enough because I was just interested in it that my principal used to drive me to my babysitter's house when I get done so that if my parents had to work past that time to pick me up. So my principal would drive me home so that I could be in that club.
Did you know this?
I did not.
Poetry master.
I
believe it though. I mean, song lyrics are poetry.
I never even heard of a poetry club, bro.
Yeah.
You ever heard of poetry club, Jay?
Yeah.
Shut up, for real. Damn.
But I think the big turning point for me was when I was 19. I met my wife. Well, my wife now, and I was working on time. I was on the road in the Millerites, so I was traveling, and I just got off the goat farm. I was goat farming from high school on in. And then when I moved to Georgetown, I was like, I don't know anybody here. So I got to try to meet some people quick. So I started going to New Albany, and that's when I met, it was Kendra Villager at the time.
Okay.
So Kendra Lemire now, and her and all her friends that were playing at this open mic at Wick's Pizza in New Albany. And I met all of them, and then through them I met Ryan and the Kenny who plays with me all the time. I met all those people. I mean, it was crazy how everything just turned. Like that one turning point. If me and my wife hadn't met, I don't know where I'd be musically right now.
Huh.
Hmm.
But that's very sweet.
It's crazy how that stuff works, like the butterfly effect.
Yeah. And then you write a song called "I'm Too Chubby to Be Cute" or something like that, whatever the hell it was.
I love that song so
Hell yeah,
much.
it's a badass song,
It's
man.
so fun.
The funny thing about that song is I didn't really want to show my wife that. It was in my head, and I was like, I shouldn't write it. And I sat down, and she wasn't home, and I wrote it, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and write it, and I'm not going to tell her about it. I'm just going to put it on Facebook so she can see everyone else's reaction before she comes up with her own.
That's perfect.
Genius.
Almighty.
That was very big brained of
Yeah,
you.
so that was probably the best mushroom thought I've had in a long time.
It's better to ask for forgiveness, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Peter, we're not going to skip the whole pod, man, without talking to you. We've met Brady on a previous episode, friend of the pod, but we haven't met you tonight. I've got to get a little bit into you and dig into why in the world you played such a beautiful fiddle when you started. I mean, dude, it's lovely, isn't it?
It's fantastic.
It's
so
so
I know
pretty.
I know a little bit about
Oh, I
how
like this.
you start. Oh, I cannot tell you how long I've waited to corner you all and just interrogate you on a podcast because there's just such a wealth of knowledge here.
Let's go.
So I mean, Peter, I'll let you tell your story. I won't take that from you. But you've been doing this for a long time. You've played at a lot of really cool places, and you did not play honky-tonk music before you started playing with Brady, right?
That's right.
Am I getting so? How did all this start for you? Just everything music wise.
My mom was a huge proponent for me staying in violin and piano lessons since I started at the ages of 3 and 4 for piano and violin. And so I stayed in private lessons until I was 18. And then I could decide after that if I wanted to continue to do music or not. The age of about 15 or 16, I started recognizing that outside of the classical world, which is what I was trained in, that there's this whole other world of music that revolves around playing music with other people, like for fun, just jamming, like non-concert setting, just an expression of fun or whatnot. So I started to get into music in my own way, but I hated it up until I was about 15 playing. But I still did the steps that go into lessons and playing concerts and stuff like that, and weddings and stuff. And now I've been playing with Brady for 3 years, and this is my first time being able to play with someone so regularly on a weekly basis to actually be able to see a growth in how our energy levels match when we play and the sound that we produce when we play together. Just being able to, over time, adjust to each other and be able to feel each other out when we're playing is like a very satisfying process to be able to experience, because a lot of the times you're playing by yourself to get better and stuff, to practice and with a big group, but to play with one individual and really hone in on like what their sound is and then how I can like reflect that or like enforce that, like, it has been a really good experience over the past 3 years to have with Brady, and many other of his friends in his group have become mine, and it's been a good experience to also have that kind of connection with them when playing. So yeah,
That's the fun part about music. You get to, you connect with all kinds of people, even if they're not in the genre that you particularly play. You can, and you just meet all kinds of people playing out too. But
That blew my mind.
2 points I want to touch on. You skirted around the question. The cool places you've played at. Where have you played at?
Tell her, Peter.
Well, I go to Canada every year. I play there. That's fun.
Oh, there's some place. It's
Go
New
play
York,
outside.
right? New York.
Yeah, I love playing in Canada.
Yeah.
Just play outside.
Peter here played in Carnegie Hall.
Yes, he
And
did.
He will not admit it. He won't ever talk about it. But Peter played one of the biggest orchestra shows in the world, Carnegie Hall.
It
Mhm.
slipped up one time in a car ride after about 2 years of knowing Brady, and he freaked out, started sending messages and going crazy about it.
I mean, you should, as you
You
should.
should
That's
be
a
proud
cool
of yourself
thing.
for that.
Well, all right, dude. I think about things like this, and I think about the way that, like, it hits me when people talk about things in the moment. And Peter, like, dude, You blew my mind, but now I think I'm figuring out why the Carnegie Hall thing is kind of for you. You hated music. For me, music was always about the relationship between music and other people.
Mm-hmm.
I started playing because the guy that was here earlier and my neighbor down the street and the neighbor that was next to him, they played music. I heard guitar every day. I wanted to be a part of that circle because of what I saw and felt when they were playing. So it was so natural for me to see the relationship between, it was more about what they were feeling than the music itself. So to hear it in a way where it was like you had to make this deal and you got to a point and you hated it. It was like, who cared what you accomplished if you hated it? Until you get to the point where you find the relationship between music and the people that you're playing it with and the language that you're speaking there together, and those moments where you have eye contact and know what he's getting ready to do, and you don't have to say a word, you don't have to say what the next song is, you don't have to say, we're going to do this. You're doing it because of that whatever that thing is, so for it to be such an analytical almost thing for 15, 18 till you're 15, 18 years old, and then get to the point where it becomes like fun.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes the relationship, not only musically, to where now you've met the circle that we're talking about, all the people that you are around, and those things start to really vibe, probably because musically you've crossed this barrier of being practice notes, got to hit the notes, got to get the timing, got to be this, got to be that, to go on. We don't even have to play this song in the same time. We can
just do whatever you want. Yeah, going from classical to what you do now.
I wonder if some of that is that. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. I totally see where you would come to that. And at that point in time, it definitely was me starting to realize that there was more to music than what I was doing just then. However, I don't for 1 minute, even though when I was younger, I maybe wasn't too interested in doing it. I didn't want to do it. But I'm glad that I was pushed to do it for sure. And 9 times out of 10, even though I still, it has had an effect on me and my view on music for a long time, that's impacted me throughout my playing, I would still, I'm still grateful for the experience doing it now. And the time that I played at Carnegie Hall, first of all, that place is absolutely beautiful in New York. It's it's the most beautiful sounding area out of any sound experience I've ever heard. And my brother's an acoustical engineer, and he's crazy about sound. So I've heard some pretty cool sound things, but Carnegie Hall is a different experience. When you play in it, you can individually throughout the entire thing hear your solo voice in a group. It's a really cool experience. And then also being able to hear a professional orchestra play, or a professional choir play Mozart's Requiem. This is a choral piece, was incredible too. So yeah, Carnegie Hall was pretty cool. I had a pretty positive experience at that point in time with it. But for a long time, it was just do the steps.
It's very rigid with classical music to an extent.
Just going to church, basically. Just get up, do your scales, practice 2 to 3 pieces every 3 months, play a recital, and then do it again. So, yeah.
And you said you play the piano as well. And then what do you play?
Yeah, piano and violin.
Violin. I've never heard of that. What were you playing today?
Fiddle. I was playing fiddle today.
A fiddle. Okay. All right. There we go. So going from playing the violin to the fiddle. I give you so much shit about this all the time. It's a fiddle. But so going from playing the violin to the fiddle, do you feel, like you said, it's still, classical music is still very moving. I'm sure you still have an appreciation for it after all this time. I know you do. So,
I still play it. I still listen to it. Yeah.
But I guess freedom may not be the right word, but the quote unquote freedom that comes from, playing music like Brady does, how does that feel? You can tell when you play that you're feeling it. You feel it in your body. So how is that,
Is it the freedom of not I mean, you've been looking at notes. This is what, speak of Mozart, there's no improvisation in Mozart.
Mm-hmm.
With Brady, it's open. Here's
with
the
Brady,
songs,
there ain't
here's
no
the
sheet
chords.
music. You just go for it.
So maybe that's part of the freedom of it.
There's not even a set list with him playing with me, and the keys might not even be the same every time.
It's an adventure. I've had to. I've recently gone back into taking more lessons just because. It just helps
you through
to
the ringer.
The thing about the classical training is it wasn't about the classical training. It was just the know that I had to go to the lessons, that I had to put in the work and do all this stuff, that it was a requirement. Like now I look at classical music and improvisational techniques played like that I do with Brady as like almost cohesive to where it's just like, except you're not writing it out before, basically. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing. You're still, when you play classical music, you're still feeling it and expressing an emotion behind what another artist felt. It's like playing cover, so playing classical is the same. It's just that at the time period in the structure when I was younger, it was like that. There was no choice behind it, and it was classical that was that genre at the time. If it was country music, it would be the same situation where even if I grew up and I was forced to play or lessons on country music, it would be the same situation.
You had no choice in it. You had to play it. You had to show up. You had to play this. So I mean, now you choose to play like pretty frequently. You all are all over the place all the time. So
yeah, I play as much as I possibly can outside of playing with Brady and yeah. With Brady too. I mean, we played at one point in time. We were playing 3 or 4 shows a week. 3 or 4 shows a week this summer. Sometimes more. I remember one week where we played like almost 5 shows a week.
Yeah.
1 week. Yeah.
We were getting after it,
which I like because I like the practice. But Brady,
how do you do it, man? How do you just? I mean, your schedule. So yeah, you did. You said you were doing a lot of cover gigs this year, and you're wanting to shift more into original stuff. Are you wanting to keep that same kind of 3, 4, 5 shows a week with the originals?
No, not at all.
I don't think
maybe depending on where it's at. So I love doing the original stuff, but I do have a daughter and a wife, and I mean I took a job in New Orleans just to get off the road so I could spend more time with them, and I feel like it was kind of moved to the point because I'm gone all the time playing music anyway. But this upcoming year, I want to get into the original stuff and play shows I really want to, and play a couple cover shows here and there, the fun recording, and it's mostly just me wanting to spend time with my daughter and my wife, and really build that family life that I could definitely have been spending a little bit more attention on in the last few years.
Well, you got the right idea, man. You got the right mindset about being a dad and being, mine's over there. It's pretty cool. If you do it right, they stick around, want to be around you. So,
my daughter gets up on stage with me when we're playing right now. So she's 2.5. She'll be 3 in March. But it's fun watching her because she'll be out there dancing and stuff, and then she'll come up and she'll stand right beside me and she'll want to sing Baby Shark in the microphone.
Baby Shark, Shark. Yeah, baby.
She's already got the right idea.
Yeah, then you let her sing it.
Every time.
Yeah, dude. So we got videos of us doing that stuff back in the day, don't we, baby?
Yeah, we sure do.
That's right.
Tons.
All right, fellas, we could talk a ton, but we've got an important segment that is back. Weston's questions. Jalen's going to ask you all some really ridiculous, hopefully fun questions. Go ahead, Jay. What you got?
Alrighty. So I know you guys said you guys do a lot of like bar shows, right? So the first question I have is, what's the funniest or most memorable interaction that you've had with a fan at a show?
Lord have mercy. What do you think, Peter?
The funniest or most meaningful interaction. Well, okay, so one time, you mind if I take this one?
That was quick.
Take this one. I'll let you have this.
You guys, you could both answer too.
I tell you what, while he's answering that question, can I pour me some more of this?
Would you please?
Yeah.
There's, where the ice and everything is. Oh, well, hold on. You go grab it. You can go in front of the camera.
So this grandma and grandpa of this young lady come up to me, and politely asked me in the middle of while I'm playing with Brady, in the middle of I'm soloing at this point this is on a show, like on stage, like a Hebrew winery, and this grandma and grandpa come up to me and they politely asked me if I'll go out with their granddaughter while I'm playing. I'm still playing at this point, and she's very insistent that I talk because I tried to like kind of show her that, hey, I'm playing, like, you know, I need to play. And so, but she comes right up on stage. I mean, she doesn't care. And she's like, you know, would you be interested in dating daughter? And I look over and it's this like young girl. And I was like, how old is she? Like, just like dumbfounded that this is happening right now. And she's like, oh, she's 17, but she'll be old enough soon. And I was like,
yeah,
Jesus
dude,
Christ.
that's not good.
yeah. And the worst part, like, I felt so bad for her because she was standing in the corner, like blushing. Like, I was like, oh, this is...
Say, no, she's ugly. No, I'm just kidding.
I didn't even know about
She's so
that.
Do you know she's underage?
17.
Where was that at?
That was at Hebrew Winery.
He didn't
They
even
were
know.
hammered,
That was
dude. They
that
were
was
hammered.
the same day that Ramona,
Grandma and grandpa were
Grace's
drunk.
mom or
I know,
whatever.
they-
Oh, yeah.
They were really
Yeah.
trying to set this up. She
Grandma and
came up on
grandpa
stage
were-
with you.
I'll
You-
say,
But it's a little flattering though, right?
It is flattering, right?
man,
Like you were just playing that fiddle
he
so
is
good that they
handsome.
were like, we've got to make this happen.
Yeah.
I was just
It
up
is
on
a little-
stage
was
to make it
flattering.
happen.
That's
I
pretty
did.
cool.
The big thing for him was he didn't like that she called it a violin, so that's why he turned all that off.
I believe it.
That's what did it. That's what did it.
Do you have one?
Yeah, I think the one of the wild. It's not the wildest thing, but the one that stands out in my mind right now is we were playing at a bar. It was back when my dad was my drummer. It was just me and my dad and my aunt in a
shit.
band for a long time.
Your dad and your aunt?
Yeah.
Hell
And so we were called the North Bend Band, and we were playing in Madison, and it was the middle of the wintertime, and I'm underage drinking. They're not asking me for an ID, and I ain't gonna give them one. It's we're in the middle of break, and this and it's a college town, and this Hanover girl comes up and she's sweet talking me, and I was like, I'm sorry, darling, I got a girlfriend, and like I said, my wife now. But I got a girlfriend. Well, she just turned around and walked straight to my dad and started sweet talking him. Yeah, like zero pause, zero thinking about
She
it.
was like, word, on to the next. Oh my God.
It's a hard pivot.
Hard pivot.
That is crazy. Next question. So, if you could time travel to any musical era, what time would you choose to play in, and what would your name be?
Like our own musical era, like the crazy, like all the different ones.
Whichever. You
Oh,
know
you
what?
got it. Dude, Peter's on it.
Interpretation.
jumping
Your
on.
own interpretation.
Yeah, I'd definitely go back to the late 1800s.
Oh, you'd be a hardcore
Okay.
classical.
It's a romantic era, so it's like after Beethoven died. So it's when they started getting crazy, like basically the death metal version of classical music.
That's
So,
sick.
yeah.
Why did I not know that?
All right, so who's the most famous composer from that era?
the most famous.
Who would
Well,
you
Beethoven died.
consider the
Beethoven
best?
died in 1827, and he was considered the start. His death was considered the start of the Romantic period in 1829. And I think he would probably be the most famous, like well-known. My favorite would be this violin composer, of course, Henryk Wieniawski. And he was in the late 1800s. But like back then, like the sounds, like anything dissonant, like anything new on like at that point, like there wasn't a lot of solo instruments being showcased, like one person. But started like popping up like with all these virtuosos that started writing these concertos and playing solos, and like so it started becoming like basically like rock concerts, what those are today, like back then, but with like solo violin performers and whatnot. So that'd be pretty cool to live out.
Be the rock star violinist.
That would be really cool.
Like Chris
That'd be
Steele.
awesome.
Out of the Wild Wild West, either one. But, yeah.
There you
Wild
go.
West. You strike me as the parlor piano player.
Oh,
Yeah.
That'd be fun. I'd be
I'd see
okay.
it.
It's a good Halloween costume.
Somebody just buy me drinks all day and I'll just play the piano.
There you go.
Some ragtime.
Cooking
All
on
right,
the front burner.
before Brady answers this, what do you think Brady's is going to be?
I don't know, actually. For some reason, I'm thinking like, I don't know. Maybe like if you wanted to do like your own genre, some like 70s psychedelic country, I feel like you would fit right in. I don't know if that's what you would choose necessarily,
Psych
but
country.
Yeah, that's a wild concept.
That is a wild concept. I'd say 90s country, but
90, you'd fit right in.
fit right, dude. You'd be like,
Now, this is probably not the answer you're looking for.
oh, no.
I'm excited.
This means it is the answer we're looking
No,
for.
but there's like a. I think about everyone says that they're, especially people my age and younger. I mean, hell, even your age. Well, I'm guessing you're 35.
Who?
You.
I appreciate you.
Me.
You're a saint.
But everyone's always talks about how they're born in the wrong era, and
Yeah.
they always want to go back to these other musical times, or they'd have made it in these other musical times. I think about that, and I love the era I'm playing music in. I absolutely love it. Like, there's so much out there. You can reach anything. You have more opportunities now than there's ever been in history to get your music out there. Whether it's good, bad, ugly, it doesn't matter. You can get it out there. And right now, with social media being the big thing it is, and just getting to know people in general from the internet, it's been such a big influence on me that I don't know what I'd ever do without it.
That's a badass answer.
That's an amazing answer.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's
Most
such a
answer
Brady
I
Evan
could've
badass
dreamed
answer.
up,
Full of
yeah.
wisdom.
You got dude, you're too young to be knowing shit like this.
You just be knowing.
You be
All the
knowing.
time.
You fucking, be knowing. It's true.
Can you tell him that he's not old? Because he thinks he's old. He won't
He's
shut up
old
about
and
it.
he's old,
old
right
in
here, bro.
wisdom.
You got that old soul
Old
wisdom,
soul.
bro. He's like 24, but he's got old soul.
Yeah.
See?
But if I
24.
hear you complain about your knees again, I think I'm going to go crazy.
Well,
You're
maybe.
not that old.
I've done so much flooring in the last 2 weeks, I don't have knees left.
Oh
true.
God, dude! I did 2 weeks floor and I can't move no more.
You've been painting and everything. You did
Tell you, new houses, new problems.
Yeah,
You know,
that ain't no
Absolutely.
joke.
yeah, buddy. At least you got some good moving help out here.
Damn straight.
The last question I have for you all is, what is the most embarrassing moment that you've experienced during a performance?
Ooh,
Wow.
This is great.
I got a good one. Can I go first?
Yeah, let's go.
Go ahead, I'll have to think about this one.
So I was working on the goat farm, and I was playing Wick's Pizza in New Albany for the open mics like I was talking about. And me and the farmer on this goat farm were driving in goat, the post for the fences. So you got that weird hammer with the handles on both ends. And I'm sitting there and I'm driving these posts in. And as I come up too far, and the edge of that hammer clips that post and hits me in the head and knocks me out cold.
Oh,
Bust my head open. I got blood running down my face. And the farmer's wife took me in the house and dressed me up. And so I quit bleeding, and she said, "You need to go to the hospital." I said, "I can't go to the hospital. I'm playing Wick's Pizza tonight for open mic." That's how much it meant to me at the time. So I had one of those real cool toboggans with the bill on it. You remember those?
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, I look like Jason Mraz coming off a goat farm. And I get to I get to the bar, and the lights are hurting my head. I have a concussion. I don't know this.
Concussed.
And I get up there and I'm playing my songs. And as I'm playing my songs, I can't see out of my right eye no more because I've started bleeding out of that damn band, and I got blood coming down my damn face like a hardcore heavy metal guy singing George Strait while all this is going on. And I was like, "I'm sorry, I gotta go." And I put my guitar down, and I had to go to the hospital like immediately.
Oh my God.
Did you finish the song?
Hell yeah, I finished.
Yeah,
song.
How many,
Right,
stitches?
you
How many
did.
stitches?
I don't remember how many it was. It wasn't very many. I had
In
to
a cut.
I had to play the old FFC the next night, and they had to cater to me because the lights were so bright I just couldn't stand it. I was messed up.
That's why people wear sunglasses, but
Yeah, that's
you should
right.
have wore them sunglasses.
I had this giant knot on my head, and it looked. I mean, it looked like I had a goose egg right there where that cut was. Right there. I still have the scar right on above my damn eyebrow on that.
Oh, that's a good one. All right, Pete.
Awkward. So an awkward moment during performance.
Or most embarrassing?
Most embarrassing moment during performance. Well, one time I played with this group of people who didn't know how to play in standard, but we figured it out eventually.
There's
There's this whole thing. Fiddle players and string players don't like playing like an F sharp or like it's like half step like intervals or whatnot. But like singers who are singing for 4 hours like wanted to play a half step down.
Yeah, dude.
My argument is just play a whole step down, but evidently that's a big deal. So
What group is that?
oh, I don't know. It's just, I
bet they're pretty cool people.
Yeah, so I'm sure he's real good looking and stuff too.
I don't know. That's why I'm saying it's awkward. Yeah.
Hey, you got one?
Oh Lord, I don't know.
I got one. I was thinking about it. Wasn't even a band performance. I was always the guy that got calls from friends and people that we knew to do funerals, weddings, anything like that. And there was one back in the day, dude, in the 90s, or maybe 2000, I don't know. There was a song, it was Shania Twain, like Brian White, and it was the hardest song to sing. And we were singing, me and some girl were singing it for a wedding, and we didn't practice one time. And we showed up and sang it. The lady ended up dying. She was like 23. She ended up dying within the next few years, and I'm pretty sure that song killed her.
Holy shit.
I'm pretty sure that's how bad we did. So, other than that, yeah.
Damn.
The marriage didn't last, and neither did her life.
Take the good with the bad, I guess.
So, anyway. All right. Is that all the Weston's questions?
That was.
Shit. All right, man. So, dude, we're like deep into this thing. We're at the end, guys.
Already?
It's the end. Do you have any more pressing questions for these fellas?
Yes.
All right.
What do you all do outside of music? Just for fun.
You go first. You go ahead. I don't hanging out with me is like your funnest thing, but you can go ahead.
Repainting the house.
Repaint and stuff.
I like to travel. I like to go places. I certainly don't like painting.
What's your favorite place you've ever been?
Man, that's hard.
In the last year?
Yosemite National Park in California.
Mhm.
Yosemite? Oh, that would be amazing.
Yep, I like Southwest. I like flying to Arizona. I'm going to Arizona again the third time this year, so I like to travel, rock climb, and do that stuff.
Don't worry about it, fellas. It's just the GoPro.
GoPro.
It's dead. Didn't need it anyway. So rock climber as well? She's a rock climber. She likes rock
I
climbing.
love rock climbing.
Heck
Rock
yeah.
climbing.
Yeah, I love flying out there and climbing stuff, climbing rocks. So
You ever climb Nulu?
Yep.
Yeah, I got a membership there as well.
Cool. Yeah, I don't have a membership. I go every once in a while. I try to get outside and climb as much as I can.
I've never done it yet, but it's the goal. I'm
It's
trying
a
to-
lot of fun. All you need is a harness and some gear. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll have to get into it.
Not me. I'm going to stay on the ground. I can't.
Yeah, I like it down here.
It's cool. I'll hike some shit.
I'm pretty short to the ground anyway. So I just,
Yeah. Your reach will be short. You can do it though.
let's not find out.
I have faith.
Brady,
All right.
what about you?
Yeah,
One
Brady.
more.
I mean, I don't really have a lot of hobbies or nothing, but
You yo-yo.
yeah, I say.
Oh, wait. We got questions. Yo.
Yeah,
Tell us about your yo. We got a few questions for Brady. We still got to get to.
Yeah, but we discussed this before y'all even got here.
Oh,
Yeah, tell us about your yo-yo.
I don't know what much to tell. I can make it go down and bring it back up. That's the
Damn
big
right.
thing about
Make it
yo-yoing.
dance a little bit.
He's a magician. Don't listen to him. It's crazy.
Are you a badass yo-yoer?
I love
Yes.
yo-yoing, but I'm not very good at
You
it.
still yo-yo right now?
I don't have it with me.
I
but
mean,
yeah,
like,
I
do you
yo-
yo-yo
Yeah, keep
once
that
a day?
thing on.
I yo-yo. I mean, yeah, most days I'll get it out, and I do non-responsive yo-yoing now. So
I don't know what that means.
So there's two kinds of yo-yos. I
All
wish I
right.
brought them with me. I could have showed you.
Non-responsive means it doesn't just come back
Yeah,
up.
it won't just come back up to you.
Look at you.
Look at
Context
me.
clues.
Yep. So you got to learn how to bind.
You got the
it.
ones that look like skateboard wheels, and then they
Yeah.
just
Yep.
you can walk the dog.
Not with the non-responsive.
You gotta
My,
do that with
my,
the
my
responsive.
non-responsive aluminum. So that if you start trying to walk it on certain grounds, it'll start sparking on you.
Ooh, that'd be
Ooh.
cool. That makes
Yeah.
it cooler.
You should do that
Actually.
during a show.
Yeah. So
Yeah, dude.
I do
Spark it up.
yo-yoing, lock picking.
Lock picking.
Yeah, I'm into picking locks, and I do Cub Cadet restorations.
Cub Cadet Rose. Oh my God, dude. That's a dream life.
I tell them all the time, you just go on so many like side quests and side missions. You just like, you do a little bit of everything.
You're
It's
the ultimate
awesome.
video game.
I love it.
Absolutely.
I love video games too.
Oh, really?
In fact, I beat Peter at one pretty good.
What game?
War of the Monsters.
I don't know what it is, but Peter, I heard you suck at it.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I heard he's the worst. No esports teams.
I heard I fell asleep while we were playing.
Oh, that'll get him.
And you play PlayStation, right?
Oh yeah. Well, now I switched. I do PC and PS5 now,
All right.
and PS2 for Simpsons Hit and Run.
Gamer tag.
Precious Pooper 2.
2.
2.
Who got the first
I
one?
don't know who got the first one, but
the original and the first.
I guess
were
you
taken.
can't be a precious pooper and do 1 though.
No.
So 2
That's right.
makes sense.
Yeah, that's right. That does make sense.
It makes sense. Whoever did 1's stupid.
Yeah, you know what? Hell with them.
It is. And they pee. They don't even poop. They pee.
Yeah.
You can't go number 2 being number 1. It's weird. Anyway. All right, man. For our listeners that want to find you, figure out where you're at, do all those things, where can they make contact?
So you can find us on Facebook and Instagram under Brady Evan or Brady Evan Music. You can find us under that, and Spotify, Amazon, anything you stream music on, it's Brady Evan. And then TikTok is Brady Evan 22.
Yep, that's a fact. I know that one.
Yep, you can find us on.
And
all
very
that stuff.
active on TikTok, man.
Oh, I try to be.
It's good. You're doing a lot of covers, a lot of originals, a lot of stuff like that, man. Every time I'm on there, I see you doing something else, and it's important. You're nailing it.
Just say my new thing is I want to get on there and not only doing my music stuff, but when we did this last release with Oliver, I wanted to like try to make some real cool promo videos. So I actually implemented my yo-yoing in some of the videos. I'm sitting there yo-yoing and doing tricks, and I'm putting the words across the line of the yo-yo as to where they can find us.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's how
Video
you do
editing
it,
over
sir.
here. You
Yeah.
do everything.
So if
a
you know how to
master.
do it, might as well do it.
Hell yeah. Especially if you can add yo-yos to it, man.
Yeah, so yo-yos are pretty cool. My wife doesn't really understand it, but they're pretty cool.
All right, what about you, Peter? Anybody that wants to find you, follow you, do all that stuff?
I just I have a Facebook, but not a huge social media following. I just play with Brady basically, and whoever else needs to have a fiddle player or whatnot. But I just primarily play
He said
whenever
if
he
you
needs a fiddle player.
want
So
to find him, find the rocks. He'll be on those somewhere. He ain't worried about Facebook.
Look up in the sky at any
Yeah,
close
dude.
hill, and he's probably up
So
there.
you almost about to get careful about what rocks you're talking about at this point. Like,
Look in the rock.
yeah, some people ain't gonna be looking at the same thing.
you find Brady, you find me basically.
Nice.
They're not very far from each
Not
other.
very far.
Well done. All right, Jay, where you at?
I'm Jalen Leanne Photography on Instagram, and that's pretty much it.
All right, before I even ask you, job well done. You were excellent. Earl may have lost his job tonight.
Sorry,
Earl,
Earl.
very much.
Earl
Thank
may
you.
have lost his job. Seriously. Not that he gets paid, so it's not really a job, but you were awesome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Seriously,
No,
I was
this was
so happy
great.
to do this.
I
I
am
had a
glad.
blast.
Well, so when I don't know if I've talked about this on the pod or if I just talked about it off, but Earl sent me a text a couple days ago and was like, "Hey, I asked Kate if she wanted to come up and do a podcast. We were out playing." He's like, "I was super drunk, and it was awesome." And I was like, "Hell yeah, dude! The more the merrier. It's going to be great." And then we got to the day, and I didn't know. You know, we talked about you playing with it, but it totally, totally forgot that they were playing with you. So all of it added up. And then I got the Spencer text and said, "Hey man, I can't be there tonight. He's been sick for a week." And then Earl text, "Hey, I'm caught up at work." And then thank God you were here at 6:00. I was like, "Oh, this is going to be awesome." And then everything else was like, it was, like we said, the perfect podcast for you to be on. And then not only that, you were awesome.
Thank you. I didn't tell them I was going to be doing this either. I was hoping, Brady, I was hoping you moved stuff yesterday, and you said, "I'm doing Top Hill this week." And I was like, "Oh yeah, it's on Monday." And you were like, "No, on Tuesday, and I knew that I was going to be here co-hosting, but so I didn't know how to be like, it's definitely tomorrow. I know for sure that it's tomorrow.
Here I was. I literally got here, and Peter's like, "That's Kate's car." I said, "Nah, Kate said she's at home."
Yeah, you called me
the
because you
trust.
were trying to figure out how to get here.
Yep.
You pull in beside my car, and you call me, and you're like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm at home, and I'm watching you pull in."
Yeah, that's the kind of trust I have for you.
I know, and I've shattered it. I'm so
Nah,
sorry.
it was for a good cause.
It was for a good cause.
for-
I loved having her here with us doing this.
well, and I did too. I appreciate you being here. We'll definitely have to do it again.
Absolutely.
But for people that want to listen, follow all that stuff, where can they find you?
Howdy, I am at Kate Justice on Facebook, Instagram, all the socials. It's at CAIT Justice. Just ice, no water. CAIT Justice.
There you go. And you got some really, really exciting news and stuff rolling. So super excited to see you continue to grow, do that, and so happy that you've hooked up with these guys because you're in the right hands. You're with the right people. They're only going to help you like really, really, I don't know what the word is for it.
They've already helped me, I'd say, just grow as a person, as a musician, everything. Like it's been awesome getting to hang out and play with you guys.
I mean, it's freaking Pooper 2. You can't. The Pooper 2. I don't even remember.
Precious Pooper.
Precious Pooper 2. There's nobody else you'd want to be with. If I'm hitching my wagon with anybody, it's Precious Pooper 2 on gamer tag. So appreciate you, fellas.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
You have to come back on when Ryan and Frustration, those guys come back on to talk about Fuzzy Pig, because we really didn't get into it tonight other than just talk about how cool it is. But when they come on, I think we already have a date set. We'll get you back in to hang out with those guys, and maybe you can co-host that night too.
Oh,
that would be cool.
Yeah, see, I would. There's nothing in this world I love more than the hound. My best friend, Ryan Smith.
That's what we're doing. All right, you heard it here. Brady Evan is co-hosting the Frustration podcast, and they come back in. That'd be a killer.
That'd be. Don't tell them though.
Well, if they don't know, then all right, I won't put it on the podcast.
You're the man.
There you go. Done. All right.
Thank you all. Thanks for having me. Kate, you did a great job.
Kate's
Thank you.
Yeah, good job, Kate.
Thanks for letting me hound you all for a little bit.
Yeah, it was fun.
You're definitely going to do this again.
Oh,
for sure.
Anytime, please.
For sure. You're
Come
definitely
to
gonna
the
do this
Frustration podcast. We'll just tear them apart together.
again. Ooh, even better.
They won't know what hit them. It's going to be.
It's going to be awesome.
Thanks for going easy on us.
It was super, man, it's good times. Follow us, Top Hill Recording Podcast on Instagram. Subscribe on YouTube. Super important for you to do that. So if you can, please do that. And we'll see you next time.